Guys, we are here with another breakdown today. We have Miss Sullivan here in the black on the right, and then Miss Jimenez on the left in the red headgear. So, two high ranks. We'll see how this goes. So first thing I always notice is Miss Jimenez here is going left foot forward. Miss Sullivan is right foot forward. So for the most part, in our Taekwondo style, we want to put our dominant foot in the front, right? So if I'm a dominant right leg kicker, I want to put my right foot in the front, okay? Boxing, some other martial arts, you want to put your dominant side in the back so you get more power as you go to hit somebody. But our style, we're not hitting as hard as we can, right? So we want to probably put that foot in front, and then that way we can use our best leg, be the quickest, things like that. So we'll see if they keep those legs predominantly in the front, switch it up, we'll see. Okay, so let's go back to that kick real quick. So she kicks Miss Sullivan right in the elbow. Okay, obviously, tournament sparring wise, it's not a point, right? You can only get a point with a hit to the body or the head. But what that does is creates this distance. Look how close they are before that kick. Oh, okay. So they're about a square apart. And plus, Miss Sullivan is on one leg. Okay, so that's a perfect time to hit somebody. Kind of throws her off balance a little bit. Whoop. And then she has to take 3 or 4 recovery steps. So what that does is basically make your partner second guess if they can stand that close, right? Every time they get close, if you push them away, then they're going to second guess. I guess I can't stand here. I got to find a different way to get in, right? So that's what that's doing. It's a mental win, I think, for Miss Jimenez there. Okay, so I like this crescent kick that Miss Sullivan does. Whoop, right here. But the tough thing about a crescent kick in sparring is with all your momentum going up and around, if it's blocked, it sends your leg back, and it's, you know, she's closing the distance as well. Throws you off balance pretty easily. So we'll watch how she lands. Whoa. Okay, obviously she's a little twisted up here. Okay, you see how her legs are. So I think if she threw a hook kick there instead, her hips would be in a better position, and if it's blocked, you can rechamber a little easier than a crescent kick because your hips are more square for a crescent kick, and then you end up like this, where again, you end up falling down in a position that's more like a side kick or a hook kick you could throw from here, okay? So, right idea, I think maybe swap out the technique maybe would be helpful. Another push there on the elbow, creating that distance. Okay, so punch, punch, punch. Miss Jimenez is landing a bunch of punches, and then you want to try to take this advantage and maybe go for a headshot, and she just ends almost with a butt kick. Honestly, but boom, boom, boom. She can't see this leg at all. So this is a perfect opportunity to go for the head, especially the back of the head, because the more towards the front you aim, the more they're going to be able to see it coming. If you aim for the back, right back here, or even like a little bit behind the earpiece, it's almost impossible to see. It's like a blind spot right now. Plus her hand is kind of blocking her peripheral. So instead of going right here for the leg check, which really, as someone's backing up, really isn't doing much for your offense, right? So head kick here, bam! I think would be a better choice than the leg check. That was good. So she spun and did a spin kick and basically hit to one of my favorite spots. Boom, and then kind of pushes her away again. I say one of my favorite spots because if you have someone that keeps their hands up, which should be everybody, as you notice, her elbow comes to about halfway down her ribs, right? So her belt is right about here where her t-shirt kind of ends. if she had a belt on, and there's probably 6 inches, right? 6 inches or so below the elbow. That's always wide open on people when they keep their hands up. And also, if you kick there, that's another spot because it's basically you're kicking the hips almost. That's going to push people around a little bit, right? So it's difficult to block, and it kind of gets you a position advantage. So, again, I think Miss Jimenez is doing great kicking there over and over because it's hard to block. And now it's a lot of single kicks, right? One kick back, you do a kick, I do a kick, you do a kick. Look. 1, 1, 1, 1. So they're not really moving as they kick either. They're kicking and their base leg is planted. I kick, there was a pivot there. And then she's standing still. This didn't move. This didn't really move. That didn't really move. You want to start in one place, kick, and end in another, whether it's for offense or defensive purposes. You never want to be in the same place after you kick, really generally speaking. Now, again, I don't know how much fatigue is coming into a factor here, but again, I'm seeing a lot of it here. So kicking, the base leg being planted, right? For the most part, you want to develop some kind of, some people call it a glide or sort of a skip as you kick. Skip, maybe not the best way to refer to it, but you want to have your leg up and then jump with your base leg, slide towards your partner with your base leg to close some distance. Every time I go to kick, I want to close some distance. Again, it's all single kicks here. So for both of these guys. So I would like to see maybe a single kick set up something a little bit bigger or more difficult. But even if you're going to do a single kick, there needs to be movement. You know, there's a little bit, maybe a few inches. But for the most part, there's no movement of the base leg. There's pivots, but you're not closing any distance. So if your partner just scoots back, they can avoid it, right? So here's that crescent kick again. Round kick to the body, which is good. And then she spins, and then the crescent kick comes up and almost gets to her head. Again, I think if it was a hook kick and her hips were fully pivoted, she would have enough inches of reach to get a little further out than that crescent kick. It was very close. But again, I think to swap out the technique, I think would benefit her. That's good defense there. And again, just a lot of, so there's 2 or 3 kicks there. That was a good little combo. Leg check. Yeah, and then into a round kick and kind of a side kick there at the end. That's great. Just more stuff like that. And again, the other, not problem with it, but it all kind of goes to the same area, right? 1, 2, this is sort of a fake, and then 3 to connect right there. It's all within 6 or so inches of it, you know. Fake a round kick up here to get this hand to move up, right? And then throw the actual kick down here instead of all in that same 6 or 8 inch sort of area. So yeah, that was a fun round. I think to give them any, piece of advice or anything, but would be just instead of the single kicks, either move a little bit more with the base leg towards your partner as you kick, or use your single kick to set something up. That little triple at the end was good, but using different angles, it was all pretty much the same angle, and then different target areas too. Remember, you can start as low as the thigh for a leg check all the way up to the headgear, right? So you have that whole range of motion. If you're only, or not range of motion, but range of target areas. If you're only going to maybe one area at a time, then it's easily blocked, right? The most frustrating rounds are when they pick up their leg and I have no idea where it's going, right? And you only get there by using the totality of your range. So anyway, that's another breakdown. We'll see you guys next time.